Receiving grants and funding from the AA and MDS has really launched my career. Initially, it was a great boost for confidence as a researcher who was just starting out in this field, but it also allowed me to parlay my research and generate some preliminary funding that I could then use to apply for additional grants and funding. So with my first aplastic anemia and MDS grant, I was able to invest, if you will, in my research, and that afforded me an additional almost in excess of $300,000 worth of funding to support my research. So it acted very much as seed money that allowed me to continue my research. And for me, and I'm sure for many other researchers who are just starting out in bone marrow failure research, this is such an important investment because it can truly make a difference between a career that can take off and a career that may not. So the goal of my research, I think, ambitiously, would be to have some translational impact. And I suppose to take some of the basic findings that my scientific research affords and working with collaborators, be able to translate that into a true therapeutic that may be beneficial to patients in the long run. I've had the distinct pleasure of meeting and getting to know Joanne Yan, and she has been, with her husband Don and her daughter Lisa, just a brute force as far as fundraising with the MDS, and I've had the pleasure of participating in some of her fundraising events. And I think Joanne is really, I think she's very exemplary of the type of person who is associated with AA and MDS. Their selflessness, their perseverance in the face of a really huge personal loss, and trying to extract some positive, long-lasting legacy for their children, for their brothers, their sisters, their extended relatives, their parents, and to truly make a difference moving forward. And she is certainly a shining example, she and her family, but I think I am probably pretty accurate in saying she's also a very typical example. And the AA and MDS can really pride themselves on these types of individuals that make up their boots on the ground and really doing the heavy lifting as far as some of their fundraising. It's quite phenomenal. I do see a role for AA and MDS in the support, and I think that's so very important. I did not have that when my daughter was diagnosed. It was during, I think she was diagnosed perhaps a year before or a year after the AA and MDS Foundation was established. And although I had great community support, I didn't feel that I had the same AA and MDS community support. And so looking back, I think I would have benefited tremendously from that. Moving forward, I will continue to do whatever I can to contribute to that. As far as other researchers looking for bone marrow failure research support, I would say the AA and MDS is absolutely the place to apply for funding. It funds very cutting-edge research. There is no, I think, dilution of quality. Even though the grants are small, they're always looking for researchers who can really make a difference. They have an exemplary medical board and scientific board, so the evaluations of the grants are very rigorous. So I encourage young researchers to apply and to pursue funding. Sometimes I tell my students the only thing more rare than aplastic anemia is funding for aplastic anemia, and I think through AA and MDS we can make a difference and change that. I would say thank you first and foremost for all of those people who make research in bone marrow failure possible. Without your support, so many of us wouldn't be doing what we're doing, especially in this climate of very limited governmental funding. It's hard to get a research program off the ground, and great ideas for advancing research are not limited to big labs. There are many new investigators who are committed, who have creative and novel research programs that really need the support of an organization like the AA&MDS. So I encourage all of those families who do these fundraisers. They have the spaghetti dinners, they do the bottle drives. We've done that. We have, we know how hard it is on a day-to-day and year-to-year basis to persevere in that way. It's not something that I could do. But I thank you all for your efforts to do that. I try and make a difference on the scientific end, but without you, there would be no me. So I really appreciate it.